Hi guys, it's your guidance counselor, Miss Darcy. I'm just here because me and your nurse and your librarian and your teacher and Emily's mom and dad, we all got together and we all picked some books for you guys to read to help you kind of understand what's going on and what's happening and how Emily feels, because we know this is a really scary and really confusing time for everybody. So the first books I'm going to recommend are When Someone You Love Has Cancer by Alaric Lewis. And this book really does a good job of explaining what cancer is and, what the treatments are. And that's really the biggest thing that it does is it's going to kind of help you understand what it is and what she's going through and all of that. The next book is called The Goodbye Cancer Garden by Jana Matthews. And this book is about how a little girl's mom gets cancer and just how the family deals with it and how they do a really good job of, explaining to her what the treatments are doing and how they're going to help her mom and how that just really how it progresses and the progressing stage of getting better. And so that'll really help you understand that. And the third book is called Jacob Has Cancer, His Friends Want to Help by Heather Cooper. And this is actually an activity book for you guys. It's a book that has coloring pages for the pictures in it. And I think it will be really good for you guys because it's a really fun book. And, everybody loves to color. But it also will help you kind of understand what he's going through and how he feels. Not so much about he'll learn about the cancer and the treatments, but mostly you're going to understand, he'll help you understand, how he's going to feel going through this and what he's going to have to go through with the treatments and just how he feels his feelings-wise, emotionally. Okay, so I'll let the others tell you more about their books now.
Hi, I'm the 4th grade teacher of Emily's class, Miss Rogers. I have selected 3 books that I believe would be great to utilize, as well as read aloud to my classroom to help them better understand Emily's condition. The first is called Bluish by Virginia Hamilton. Bluish is a phenomenal book demonstrating the connections between a child with cancer and the relationship she forms with her classmates, just like you all. Natalie is diagnosed with leukemia and looks and acts different than her other classmates. They call her Bluish because her skin is so pale you can see her veins through it. We see Natalie through the eyes of Drini, who befriends her. This book accurately describes the struggle of a child and how those around her react while remaining easy to follow. The next book we'll read is Stevie's New Blood by Catherine Lilby. This book provides great information about what your classmate Emily is going through with some stem cell transplants. We will learn through Stevie's eyes what it is like to undergo this process, and we can further help Emily with our knowledge. Stevie will give us an enjoyable new perception that stem cell transplants are not as a scary process, and I am sure we will all love to read about it. Finally, we have Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes by Eleanor Coer. This lovely book is about an athletic young girl named Sadako who becomes ill with leukemia. She remembers a legend about folding paper cranes and that if she folds 1,000, she will be healthy again. We learn about Sadako's illness and strength, and as a class, we can even make some paper cranes for Emily. This captivating book shows us a story of a spirited protagonist that will keep us turning the pages. I hope you all look forward to reading this selection because I know I do.
Hi, I'm Emily's librarian, Miss Kelsey. The first book that I've chosen for her class to read is called Chemo Girl. This fictional book tells a story about a young girl who was diagnosed with a rare type of cancer at a young age. Not only is this a good book to help other children who are going through the same situation, but it can help her classmates to understand what Emily is going through and how strong she must be. This story will help her friends and her classmates realize that there is always hope. The second book I've chosen for her class to read is called What is Cancer Anyways? This book explains the basic information to children to help them understand exactly what cancer is. The author does a good job of describing it in a calm but very clear way. This story will help her classmates better understand the different treatments in a much more reassuring way. The last book I've chosen is called The Rainbow Feelings of Cancer. This story focuses on the emotions someone may have when a loved one has cancer. The author describes her fears and worries she had when her mother had cancer. This book will help Emily's classmates understand what they are feeling is okay, and it encourages children to talk about what they feel and to feel comfortable asking questions.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Brown, Emily's mom. I just wanted to give you some books from the point of view of like what we feel like Emily's dad and I feel like would be appropriate for your class to help y'all understand what Emily's going through. So the first one's called Chemo to the Rescue, and it's a children's book about leukemia by Mary Brent and her daughter Caitlin. And Caitlin was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 5. And in the book it just talks about how Caitlin has to like adjust her life and how her mom and dad have to adjust their lives, and how she didn't really like chemo at first, but then she realized that it started to help her instead of hurt her. The second book is called This Is a Child, and it's the father's story of his young son's battle with leukemia, and it's by Terry Pringle. And it was written in 1979, and it's just about how this father and his family had to travel and move to a different location because of his job, and then they started to realize that their son was getting bruises and different things on their body, and they realized that he had leukemia. And it was just about how they also had to adjust their lives and make it easier for their son to live, and for other people to understand what was going on. And their son was very active. His name was Eric. He was very active, like in school and sports and things, just like I'm sure some of you kids are. So this book is just it's a good, easy read for y'all to understand what Emily's going through. The third book is called Zinc. It's called The Myth, the Legend of the Zebra, and it's a play for young children. It's by a woman named Sherry Bennett, and it's also about a little girl named Becky who was diagnosed with leukemia when she was 10, and she also has to undergo chemotherapy. And to do that, she creates this imaginary friend who's a zebra, and it's polka dotted, and he helps her when she gets nervous with things like that. And so that's just a good way to cope with chemotherapy and, you know, what you're going through, and to help you understand that you're not alone.
Hi, I'm Miss Elizabeth, and I'm Emily's school nurse. I know that cancer is a very scary thing, and so I'm going to suggest some books for Emily and her classmates to read to help them better understand it and better deal with the changes that are happening. The Long and the Short of It, A Tale About Hair, is by Barbara Myers and Lydia Chris Mays, and illustrated by Shannon Bernassi. It's an excellent book for Emily and her classmates. One of the most difficult aspects of having an illness is looking or feeling different than other people. This book talks about hair loss with chemotherapy and how one little girl loses her hair and another little girl chooses to give her hair away to help her friend with cancer. It's a really great book to talk about being different, accepting people, and giving, and it can be used for all children. The next book I would like to suggest is The Famous Hat by Kate Gaynor. It's illustrated by Ruth Keating. It's an excellent book to help children better understand what's happening when someone has cancer. The main character, Harry, goes through the steps of cancer, and it helps him understand what it's like. There's an important point that there's nothing weird or wrong with a child that has cancer, and it even talks about him having a positive experience, like making friends in the hospital. The final book I'd like to suggest is Kathy's Hats, A Story of Hope. Kathy's Hats is an easy way for children to understand the struggle of hair loss. It's a bibliography, so it starts out with her as a baby and moves all the way up through her cancer. So you see that she's just a normal kid dealing with some scary issues.